Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So the topic of today's video is Tesla stock, the most hyped up and talked about stock right now. But before you go out and buy any Tesla stock, check out this conversation that I recently had with a friend of mine. Oh, hey man, how's it going? Great, dude. Long time no see. Hey, so boy, do I need to tell you about this guy I know. You won't believe the bad decisions he makes about investing. Oh yeah? Oh yeah. Seriously, the absolute worst investing decisions ever. Okay, now I'm super curious. So this guy I know, he buys really hyped up stocks without really researching them at all. Ooh, that's not good. And recently he bought the stock and I was like, ooh, I don't know, man. So the first thing is this company doesn't pay any dividends. And I mean, who would invest in a company as a long-term investment that doesn't pay any dividends? Totally. But there's a lot more. Keep talking. The reason why the company doesn't pay any dividends is that since the company was founded, they haven't made any money. Zero in profits. Wait, are you serious? How is this company even still around? That's actually a very good question. So what's the answer to the question? Government subsidies to the tune of billions of dollars every single year. But why would the government do that? Or maybe a better question is, why would people want to invest in a company like that? I mean, it makes no sense. Because people believe that the product that the company produces is the way of the future or something like that. So in other words, people are investing in this company because they believe or hope that it will continue because of the future, not because they actually make any money or pay dividends? Yep. In fact, when the company announces their profits, what they really are talking about is the amount of money that came from the government that they didn't spend. Dude, your friend seriously makes some bad investment choices. I mean, that's the number one advice that older investors tend to give. Don't just invest in things because people tell you to. Make sure and do your own research. I know, right? Okay, so I gotta know, what company is this? You really wanna know? Yeah, dude. Okay, just tell me. It's Tesla. Whoa, wait a second. Is this just your way of telling me that investing all of my life savings into Tesla was a terrible decision? Maybe? You know what? That's it. I'm leaving. Whew. Well, that went pretty well. Okay, so obviously that wasn't a friend of mine. That was just me with a different coat on because obviously I have no friends. But in all seriousness, I hope that conversation was thought-provoking and funny. And maybe you're wondering, are some of those things made up? Are all of them made up? Are they really true? Well, unfortunately, none of them are made up. They are all completely true. But allow me to explain. But before I do, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of Tesla. Do you invest in Tesla stock or do you not? And what are your reasons? So recently I started doing some research on Tesla because I keep hearing people go on and on about how Tesla is going to take over the car manufacturing world and the stock is just going to absolutely skyrocket. And well, we kind of saw that in the last few months. But I also heard a lot of people say a lot of negative things about Tesla, and so I wanted to do some research to settle it for myself what the facts actually were. But before we get into it, all I ask for all the time and energy I put into this video is that you would smash the like button because I would really appreciate it and it really helps out the channel. So the first piece of information that I wanted to research was why Tesla doesn't pay dividends. I mean, it would seem that paying dividends to shareholders would be a great incentive for investors to buy Tesla stock, considering that up until very recently, it was the most shorted stock in US history. And this is only a good thing if you're a short seller. But I found that the reason why Tesla doesn't pay dividends is quite simply put, that since the company started, they have never actually turned a profit. According to an article that Forbes published just a few days ago, quote, despite strong revenue growth, Tesla has yet to make a profit. And the reason why the company is around today is because the government gives them billions of dollars every single year in subsidies. Now, before you start arguing that
other car manufacturers were given money from the government at different points, and that really shouldn't matter.
Every other car manufacturer in the history of the US may have gone through a rough patch, but has historically made a profit and since then has continued to make a profit or been bought out by another company. But this cannot be said for Tesla. Now, I'm going to put links down below to all of these articles and all of this information so that you can verify it all for yourself and not just take my word for it. Now, I'm not going to go through every single piece of financial information related to Tesla in money that they get from the government or money that the buyers get as write-offs from the government and how these are the only reasons why Tesla is still around as a company. But what I will say is this. Tesla received $713 million in government subsidies in the third quarter in 2018, but only made $312 million in profits. Now let's just let that sink in for a moment. Yeah, that's right. And according to a recent article by The Verge, Tesla made and delivered more cars in the second quarter of 2019 than it did in any other quarter in its history, but still lost $408 million, according to a new filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, to understand this would be like if you were a beautiful car manufacturer and you got $20 from the federal government to build a car, and then you spent said $20 to build a car, and then turned around and sold it for $5 to a consumer, and then pranced around showing off your $5 profit, when in reality you have a net loss of $15 because it cost $20 to build the car. Now, I know that is a bit of a simplistic explanation, but in a nutshell, that's how Tesla operates, losing billions of dollars every single year. And I think this demonstrates what I'm trying to say exactly. Now, like I said, all of the links are down below in the description, and I invite you to go ahead and check them out and see for yourself. Now, as a long-term investor, it seems absolutely insane to me to invest in a company like this. Because the company doesn't pay any dividends, there's no incentive to buy the stock because of income that you can receive from it. Which means all you're banking on is the appreciation of the stock itself. And in my opinion, the only reason the stock saw such a huge surge recently is because the average person doesn't actually understand any of the financials or the fundamentals and thinks that the company actually makes money. By the way, just in case you haven't been paying attention, it doesn't. Another big reason, in my opinion, is the belief that electric cars are the way of the future. Now, I'm not saying that electric cars are not the way of the future, but I will say this, that investing in a company that doesn't make money, that since it was founded has lost billions of dollars every single year, simply because you think their product is the way of the future, is not a good investing strategy in my opinion. After all, there are other manufacturers that make all electric cars, and more manufacturers are looking that way who actually make money. Another thing that I wanted to say is that I think that we should be careful about laughing at the short sellers who recently lost money on Tesla. Because the natural flow of things is that the short sellers laugh at the long-term investors when the stock goes down, and the long-term investors laugh at the short sellers when the stock goes up. But at the end of the day, I think that we should be very cautious about a stock that up until very recently was the most shorted stock in US history. Now, I'm not saying that investors haven't made any money on Tesla. I know that many people have made a lot of money, both short sellers and long-term investors. And I'm also not saying that you should never invest in Tesla, or even that I never would. What I am saying is that everyone needs to do their own research and their due diligence when it comes to any stock, and Tesla is no exception. And it seems that for the most part, the majority of people haven't done that because most people don't know that Tesla has never made a dime in profits. Just a point of clarification, there's a big difference between trading and investing. What I'm talking about is long-term investing Tesla, where you buy the stock and you hold it for many years. Trading, on the other hand, where you only hold the stock for a day or a couple days or even a month, is a very big difference. And I think that it can make sense to trade Tesla, and I know people that trade Tesla and make good money on it. I just don't think that long-term investing Tesla, where you hold it for many years, is a good idea. And oftentimes I hear people talking about how Tesla's business model is really solid and that's why they invest in them. But I would say that if a company doesn't make money, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how solid their business model is. Because if it was that solid, they would make some money. And who knows how long Tesla will be able to keep this up with losing billions of dollars every single year. And that is why, in a nutshell, I think that Tesla is a terrible investment at this point in time. So I hope that this video was entertaining and informative. Make sure and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. And don't forget to leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about Tesla. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.